No, thank you so much for that. Because, and especially for me who has been creating content in this space, the information I rely on would mostly be newspaper article, the media, and all of that. And I have said that Sudan is facing one of the worst humanitarian crises ever. And even in doing research, it's so hard to actually find information. At times, you even find information that's a bit contradictory and you're not sure about what to put to the public because you could even be promoting misinformation. But you mentioned something about that access of being able to communicate with others. Now, I like to draw parallels with the protests in Kenya, where through social media, young people garnered themselves up, took over through their phones, spreading information that this is what the government is doing and we need to fight. And they went for protest. In Mozambique at present, it's the same situation. Social media has always played that key role. So I'm interested to know about Sudan in particular. Is there prohibitions in terms of access? Like, what's the situation there?
So this goes back a bit to 2018. So in end of 2018, that was December, and then throughout 2019, we had a lot of protesting happening in the country. And in these protests, there has been a change in government. So we had a government for 30 years, a governor. And in that sense, people were protesting and using social media to actually like throw attention and bring it down to people that we're going to be protesting in that area, in that space. But the issue is that the government knew that internet is a very strong tool and that it can be of harm to them. And it could be used to protesters. So there has been, times where, they just shut the internet off for the entire country. And people are being in a blackout for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And it happened also now. So whenever a conflict starts in an area, what they do is that they just target, infrastructure of telecommunication.
Yeah.
And in that sense, you lose internet connection and you lose phone calls as well. And for months, that has been happening in Sudan. There has been alternative options, people are trying to use Starlink and then other services, but that is also illegal to use because the two conflicted parties of Sudan, both of them are using internet to communicate. So what they're trying to do there is that they try to cut the telecommunication channels, and they think that by cutting communication channels, they would be able to control the area. They'll be able to control what's happening in that city. So leaving a lot of citizens without internet connection, without phone calls. Young people would love to share, but they're unable to.